Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all for coming here to this dedication and renaming ceremony here of the Malden City Council chambers. We're here to honor one of our former city councilors, one of our own, and to name the city council chambers after a great man who many of us have, at least some of us have served with, some of us know about this guy who, in terms of elected positions, was first elected as the president of his high school class at Malden High School. How about that? And then he was elected to the Ward 7 City Council seat. Larry Mazonson, was that before you? A little bit before you. Then he was a counselor at large, and then he was a state representative, and along the way he became the district governor for the Lions Club. This black man who was breaking barriers long before that was fashionable, and we're here to honor his memory and to name these council chambers after him this evening. So right from the very beginning, let me just say thank you all for being here as we get ready to go through these ceremonies. I need to announce to you that what we're going to be doing here this evening will be videoed and audio recorded by Urban Media Arts, formerly known as MATV. So anything that we say here can be used against us in the court of law, and so be careful of what you're saying. We're going to be having some of the people around. We're going to ask those of you who are here to, we might do a little open mic this evening and get a chance for people to after the ceremonies, to give some reflections on their relationship and their knowledge of this great Herbert Loren Jackson. So we'll start the program by, I'm asking all of those of you who can stand, would you please rise so that we may begin with a salute to the flag, our Pledge of Allegiance. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you please all remain standing for just a moment as we do a special moment of silence for those of our service persons, our men and women in uniform, and for those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. Now, I'm going to ask you to remain standing again because we've got a great vocalist for us this evening that is going to lead us in the singing of the national anthem. We have with us this evening Lydia Harrell, who will be leading us in the national anthem. How about a round of applause as we give her a little encouragement? Lydia?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. Very much. Oh, yes. I'd like to call upon our senior counselor. Please be seated. I'd like to call upon our senior counselor, Craig Spatafora, who will come and acknowledge the presence of our current elected officials.
Thank you, Mr. President. And when he says senior, it is not in stature, maybe weight, but certainly not years. No offense to my other counselors. So I just want to say it was an honor for me to have this opportunity to speak for such a pioneer for the city of Malden and certainly for this building. I also had the opportunity to sit on the building committee, and even before, it was never a debate, but I wanted everybody in the room know, before it was even talked about, Council Anderson made sure there was no other name going on this chamber. So I want to give a round of applause to Council Anderson to make sure. And a little lighthearted note, I looked at the back of the program, and anytime you have an event committee that has Jimmy Cahill, the cemetery director, on it, you know it's going to be a party. So I have the honor of introducing the current legal delegation, the city council, and the school committee. So here, representing the city of Malden from the legislative delegation, Representative Paul Donato. Paul? State Representative Steve Altrino, Representative Altrino. And now to the school committee, representing the school committee, Councilor Debbie DiMaria at large. Oh, what'd I say? School committee? I'm sorry. City council, Councilor at large, Councilor Debbie DiMaria. City council, Councilor at large Steve Winslow. Councilor Winslow. Councilor Crowe from Ward 1. Councilor who can fit in both former and current city councilor from Ward 2, Councilor Paul Condon. Councilor from Ward 3, Councilor Amanda Linehan. From Ward 4, Councilor Ryan O'Malley. Representing Ward 5, Councilor Barbara Murphy. Councilor from Ward 7, Councilor Neil Anderson. And the council from Ward 8, Councilor Jadine Seeker. Now on to the school committee. From Ward 1, Michael Drummy. From Ward 2, Mr. Robert McCarthy. From Ward 3, Jennifer Spatafora. Ward 5, Adam Weldi. And then from Ward 7, Michelle Luongo. And now I call upon the clerk, Mr. Greg Lucy, to introduce the former city councilors and mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. And I also want to thank Councilor Anderson for his efforts tonight. He did really make sure that this hall tonight got rededicated to Herbie Jackson, and he did an outstanding job. So thank you, Neil. I'm proud to be part of it. So I have some former people here. So the first person I know very well, he's a former mayor of Malden, Ed Lucy. And we're going to go to a list of former city councilors, and Ed Lucy could be on that list as well, but he's only on the former mayor list. So we have Don Famano, Marty Gately, Robert Bob McCarthy, Billy Coleman, Joe Bogan, Larry Mazonson, Steve Finn, Jeff Donahue, Greg Lucy, Chris Simonelli, and we have tonight former school committee member and police commissioner Butch Genetti. Thank you and enjoy the evening.
Thank you. I got a call earlier this week from Bob McCarthy, who was saying, you know, Neil, it's so nice to have received an invitation to come out this evening. So it's so easy for people to forget these elected officials who served this city over these many years, and after you're gone, it's like Larry who and Bob who. We value your service. We value former elected officials, what you brought to this city, what you brought before those of us who are here now. And so it's important that we make sure that we acknowledge your presence, acknowledge what it is that you've done here. And once again, can we have a round of applause for all of these former elected officials who have come out here this evening. There's a couple of other people that I'd like to acknowledge along with that same group, and that is we can't forget to acknowledge the presence of the widow of John McNeil. Christine McNeil, where are you? Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And we can't forget our former city clerk, Karen Anderson. Karen. So we go through all of this of acknowledging all these elected officials, and it's really so important that we remember from where we came and how much these folks have given to our city of Malden. So now, Mayor Christensen has often reminds us that Malden has a strong past and proud future. And what we are doing here this evening in acknowledging the history of Herbie Jackson and naming these council chambers after him exemplifies this person who has given us this strong past and gives us hope for the future as we think about Black Lives Matter and equal opportunity for all. Malden is the place that exemplified those feelings long ago. And so we're here in our city of Malden for what we have done, and we want to acknowledge that. And so I'm going to ask our Mayor, Gary Christensen, if he'll come and bring us some remarks. His Honor, the Mayor of the City of Malden, Gary Christensen.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mayor.
As I always say, you don't need me here when you have Neil Anderson. Let me just first start off talking about Lydia. I told Lydia after she performed at this year's Juneteenth celebration that I hoped I would never have to follow one of her performances again, as I knew anything I could say could never compare. So thank you once again, Lydia. And let me also take a moment and thank the committee who organized this event, especially City Council President Neil Anderson. He was determined, as Councilor Spatafora said, before we even constructed our new City Hall, that we would never forget the contributions of Herbert Jackson. Neil made sure that this chamber, just as the one at 200 Pleasant Street would also bear the name of this incredible public leader. As some of you may know, Fox 25 News was here last Friday morning featuring our city, and when they asked me what made Malden special, I told them that one of the things was our storied history. This would include Herbie Jackson, who helped build the strong framework that makes us the proud community we are today. He broke barriers in so many ways throughout his life. As a child of parents who were born enslaved in Athens, Georgia, Herbie truly reached great heights and would have made his parents proud had they lived to see his accomplishments. Whether it was excelling at Malden High School, where he was elected the first black class president in the school's history, or running his cleaning and tailoring business, or working as a successful promoter of jazz groups in Boston, Herbie gave everything he did his all. His ascent into politics at the encouragement of his wife Doris Pope Jackson and his over 30 years in public office were unprecedented. He was the first black man elected to the Malden City Council in 1945, and at the time, Malden received national recognition due to the fact that a black man had been elected by a 99% white electorate. The headlines heralding his election appeared in newspapers across our nation. From there, Herbie quickly earned the esteem and respect of his colleagues and was known for his thoughtful, respectful, and compassionate style of leadership. President Harry S. Truman said, "Progress occurs when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better." That epitomizes what Herbie Jackson did for Malden. Following his passing in 1978, his colleagues on the City Council unanimously voted to name the chamber at 200 Pleasant Street in his honor. This rededication this evening not only allows us this time to reflect on Herbie's life, but it will also serve to remind future generations of a leader that truly made a difference. Thank you, and if you think this dedication is the only way we plan to honor Herbie, it's not. As through our research for this event, we were also inspired by the life of his dad, so much so that Neil and I are announcing plans this evening for the dedication of the John T. Jackson Square at Ferry and Center Streets, which was the location of his long-standing business, the John T. Jackson Merchant Tailor. So we'll see you all again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. How about another round of applause for His Honor, the Mayor of the City of Malden. Also the president of his high school class at Malden High, school committee member, city councilor, and mayor. So we're so glad to have your leadership, Gary. So as Lee Van Allen wipes the tears from her eyes, and you can see the media stuff we've got going on here with the photographs and storied history of Herbert Loren Jackson. We're going to ask his daughter, Lee Van Allen, if she will come and bring some reflections from a family point of view. Lee is not only the daughter of Herbert L. Jackson, but is the widow of David Van Allen, where some of you may have remembered David Van Allen, who served as our planning board director. So Lee, if you will, come in your own way and share with us some of your reflections. Lee Van Allen.
Thank you. Oh, good evening, everyone. I knew this was going to be a moving event, but I didn't know it would be quite so moving. I want to say, Mayor Christensen, Council President Anderson, members of the Malden City Council, the Municipal Building Committee, the Rededication Planning Committee, current and former elected officials, family, friends, and citizens of Malden. Proudly, I stand before you today at the rededication of the Herbert L. Jackson Council Chambers. I would like to give a special thank you to several people that I personally work closely with to prepare for this evening. Two are on Mayor Christensen's staff: Kathleen Manning Hall, Administrator Officer, and Ron Conkran, Communications Director. The third person is Director of the Malden Public Library, Dora St. Martin. And lastly, my daughter Lauren, who's here with us today, who is a great support to me. In fact, members of our family, please just acknowledge yourself. My dad was born in Malden on October 20th, 1908, at 22 Granville Avenue, the 13th child of John and Araminta Jackson. Both of his parents were born enslaved in Athens, Georgia. My grandfather was a master tailor who taught tailoring at Biddle University, an historically black college in Charlotte, North Carolina, now called Johnson C. Smith University. In the 1890s, my grandfather, moved his family north to Malden for a freer life and better educational opportunities for his children, most of whom graduated from college. Affectionately known as Herbie to all, my father lived his entire life in Malden. As was mentioned earlier, he attended Faulkner Elementary School and Malden High School, where he was elected president of his graduating class in 1927, the first African American to be elected president of a Malden High School graduating class. Although his parents wanted him to study the ministry, my dad wanted to pursue a career in theater and entertainment. He studied public speaking at Emerson College of Oratory, now Emerson College, law at Suffolk School of Law, now Suffolk University Law School, and drama at Massachusetts School of Art, now Massachusetts College of Art. My father did not graduate from either of the schools. However, he greatly benefited throughout his life from his studies at these institutions of higher learning. In 1935, my father married my mother, Doris Pope of Everett, Massachusetts. My parents met in Oak Bluffs on Martha's Vineyard when he was visiting her family's inn, Shearer Cottage. Soon after their marriage, my dad opened a cleaning and tailoring business, the House of Jackson, which was located on Exchange Street in Malden. The couple bought their first home on Salem Street, where they raised their 3 children, Gail, my sister, myself, and my brother Herbert Jr. My husband David and I bought this family home from my parents, and I also raised my family there. Our children, David Jr., Lauren, and my youngest, Eric. My mother, Doris, encouraged my father to enter the Malden political arena, where he was continually elected to public office by a predominantly white electorate. He was the first African man to be elected to the Malden City Council and enjoyed a distinguished 30-year career of public service. Furthermore, Herbert was the first African American elected as state representative from Malden, serving from 1950 to 1954. My dad was first elected councilor of Ward 7 from 1945 to 1947, councilor of Ward 5 from 1947 to 1951, and councilor at large from 1965 to 1975. The city of Malden received recognition with the election of my dad as Massachusetts district governor of the Lions Club, the first African-American elected to this post in the United States. I recently reread an editorial by David Brickman, the distinguished editor-in-chief and publisher of the Malden Evening News, written after my father's death. I was reminded why the city council chambers were named after him in 1978. The editorial, Jackson's Example Proudly Remembered, stated in part, quote, "The people of Malden wrote a proud chapter in their history when they repeatedly elected Herbert Jackson to public office. He bore his responsibilities with humility, good humor, and graciousness. Now he is gone from us, and he will be missed. He has left a legacy few could match, and as well taught a lesson of civic awareness and public service others may well emulate." Following my dad's passing, Senator Ed Brooke, a dear family friend and the first African-American popularly elected to the United States Senate, printed David Brickman's entire editorial in the Senate's Congressional Record and entitled it, "To Know Him Was to Love Him." My dad's leadership, vision, compassion, and commitment to improving the quality of life of his constituents earned him their sincere respect and admiration. Several thousands of Malden citizens paid tribute to my dad at the council chambers where he was waked. That day, the people of Malden reaffirmed that Herbert Jackson was judged by his integrity, character, and accomplishments, and not the color of his skin. Maldonians, past and present, are to be commended for this. From the bottom of our hearts, our family thanks City Council, Councilman President Neil Anderson, and the Municipal Building Committee for ensuring that the new Malden City Council chambers will continue to be named after Herbert L. Jackson.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Lee. Thank you very much. So, yeah, will the Jackson family please stand? We need to give you all a round of applause. There's another one over here. Come on, step forward over here. Thank you. So now we have the pleasure of a performance by the Malden High School step team. They call themselves AO, All Together, One Together. Out of the African tradition, we're going to have the Malden step team come in to perform for us here this evening.
All right. Thank you, thank you. And how about a round of applause for their leader, Barbara Scabelli? Barbara, will you come up and take a bow as well? Now it is time for the unveiling. So I'm going to ask the Van Allen family if they will please come forward so we can unveil the plaque. I'm going to ask the elected officials, the current elected city council members, if you'll please come and join us as we take a photo and unveil this. Mayor Christensen, please. I'm told as well that State Senator Jason Lewis has arrived. Where's yes, thank you. Senator, representatives. Yes, let us gather here, and we'll ask the family if you'll lead the way in unveiling this. That was the original. That was in the last building. I want to call that the old City Hall because I remember going to the City Hall when it was down on Main Street. But the 200 Pleasant Street building, this was there, and we want to thank Joe Lepore for saving this, putting this into the archives. Joe, thank you wherever you may be in saving this great plaque for us. How about that, huh? Yes, yes. So, if we have a photographer here, we might be able to get around it a bit. And Mayor, if you
That's great.
Come over here.
Come over here. Come over here.
Can we squeeze in?
Yeah.
come on, pretend we're friends.
Pretend you're done.
Hammersley, can you make me look skinny?
Congratulations. Well done.
What's that? Yes. Paul? And while the family is taking a photograph here, I want to take this moment to thank the committee. And I hope you all have enjoyed this ceremony this evening. We've tried to do our best in honoring Herbert L. Jackson. That's Herbert L. Jackson Sr., not Herbert L. Jackson Jr. So thank you to Kathleen Manning Hall and Lisa Cagno and Eric Rubin and Ron Cochran and Doris St. Martin and Jim Cahill, Elena Savino, Paula Anderson, and Lee Van Allen for your help in organizing this event this evening. We also want to thank the volunteers from our Teen Enrichment Center, through Kathy Mack, who has sent her Teen Enrichment Center folks down here to serve the hors d'oeuvres for us. And I don't think we've eaten them all, so you still have time to have a little libation before we leave this evening. Now, as we close, I'm going to ask Lydia Harrell if she will please come back and join us as we close out this evening in singing the Yes, yes. And as we close out with the singing of the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. And I think there's been sheet music that's been passed out.
Before I do, though, I just found out, as I was standing here, I learned how much Herbert loved jazz, and that's kind of what I do. So I'm going to sing a little piece of something that I would hope he would like. All right. And don't mind me as I snap. The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. Oh no, they can't take that away from me. The way your smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams. Oh no, they can't take that away from me. We may never, never meet again on the bumpy road to love. Still, I'll always, always keep the memory of the way you hold your knife, the way we danced till 3. Oh, the way you changed my life. Oh, no, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away from me. Thank you. All right, so lift every voice and sing. Everybody has their lyrics. Please
stand.
Yes. All right. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Sing a song full of the hope that the day has brought us. Sing a rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Let's change the key, right? Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over away with the tears that been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from a gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where with like gleam of our bright star is cast. One more? All right. We can stop there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this concludes our program for this evening. I want to invite you all to the event that's going on right next door. We even decided to have a jazz, it's a blues concert. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Whoa, the elements. Earth, Wind, and Fire. So we still have some hors d'oeuvres, I believe, and we still have some opportunity to mingle, but there is a concert going on next door. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, the Van Allen, Jackson family, for your participation. It's been great. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Now,